Hello, I'm Ariel from Revival Acres, and today we are going to be reviewing and talking about Indigenous Peoples by Gather Round Homeschool. I am really loving the Indigenous Peoples Unit 1 because it's a mini unit, which means that you will only have 2 notebook pages a day or per lesson that you're working through with your family, which I really like because we are only using Gather Round as a supplement to our homeschool. That's just what we have chosen to do. And I know many people use it as the sole curriculum other than math for their homeschool, and I think that's great. But for us, we've chosen to use it as a supplement, and I really love that about the mini units, that there's only 2 pages, so I don't have to go through and pick which pages out of the 4 that are normally every day. So mini units right now are definitely helpful. I love the Indigenous Peoples because one is beautiful. They did a fantastic job with the layout and the color scheme of the unit. I love the artwork, the watercolors, various things within the unit. It's just beautifully done visually, and my children have really liked that as well. It's very intriguing. It's not too many pictures, but it's just the right amount of beautiful artwork, but also real life pictures within the teacher's manual. So I really love that about it. During our morning time, we do classical memory work through Claritas Publishing. And this year our geography is Canada, or actually it's North America, but right now we are working through Canada. So I thought this was the perfect time to do the Indigenous Peoples of Canada, because we are memorizing the provinces and the lakes and rivers and all kinds of different landforms in Canada. So this, I think, is going to be a beautiful way to incorporate what we're learning in geography as well as what we're learning in history with the various people coming from Europe and other parts of the world to settle in North America. So that is why I chose to use this one right now. And what I've noticed so far is that Rebecca does do a beautiful job describing where Indigenous people come from. Now, this is a Christian curriculum, so it's going to have a Christian perspective, which I love and appreciate. And I do feel like she does a beautiful job of honoring them and their culture and their beginnings. Now, like I said, what you'll do if you've never done a Gather Round unit before, they're all laid out similarly. And so because this is a mini unit, for the teacher's guide, you only read about 2 to 3 pages maybe. So here's lesson 1. I would read and we discuss what's here. I read this over lunch. Sometimes I read it over lunch while they're eating. And then I'd read this page, and then this lays out all the levels and what they're doing today in their notebook. So that's all written out for you, which I really love. It's a nice snapshot, especially if you have students in various levels. So this would be lesson 1. And that's also why I love the mini units. It is mini, and I like that, especially because we're using it as a supplement. So we'd read through this together. We talk about it, do any extra things that sometimes in these little boxes, she'll recommend a video or something that you can continue to research if you want to, but you don't have to. And then after you're done reading, you would move into your notebooks. So I have an early elementary and an early reader. So you would go into their notebooks. You could have them printed. She prints them out beautifully if you need, or you can print them out yourself. And they would complete 2 pages. And I like how it's just like laid out flat. It's just what you need to do. And then you turn the page and you would do the next 2 pages. So there's lots of coloring in the early reader, which I think is really great. There's narration or copy work that you can do. It's up to you how you want to do it. There's some cutting and pasting of a timeline, which I think is really important. And it's going to be really great for us since we're learning that time period in history right now, to see how it all fits in and what we're learning. And here's some more beautiful, now here's a question that is a multiple choice that you can ask and circle together. You can color the picture, and your child dictates what they've learned today, and they can write it, or you can write it and they can copy it. however you want to do that. And then in the back are all your resources or the appendix of things that you'll be using to cut and paste into the book. So that would have been the early reader. And then here is the early elementary, same exact layout, but you'll be doing a little bit more writing maybe, not always, and there might be a couple more questions for them to do. And so it's a little bit more advanced, but not a whole lot, which I like because they tend to do a lot of their work together. So that's all I have. I only have the early reader and the early elementary, but we really love it so far. I did want to mention that in the beginning of all her teachers' manuals, there is a book list. And I hope that your public libraries are open for you. Ours are open, and I just do the online hold, and then I just go and they just hand me a huge thing of books every week. I just checked my my account, and it says I have 44 books checked out. Anyone else a little bit of a book nerd? Anyways, so I hope your library is open and that you can use this. So it is broken up by level, and these are different readers or books that are appropriate for that level that you can get for your students to look. And I generally set up my bookcase, or I have multiple bookcases or places in my home, and I will put out books that are relevant. Here are a few to what we're learning. Now these are a bit more of American, Native American, just because we do live in America, but you can pull out some books and have your students look through them. And then in the back of the teacher's manual, there are cards to help you remember the different Indigenous people of Canada, and they're beautiful. I love them. So here would be the front of the cards, and then you flip them over and it tells you information. There's a then used birch trees for many things, including canoes, baskets, shelters, and more. And then now they design snowshoes, and they were invented by Indigenous First Peoples, and they use them to make and sell. So I really love this. You could play different games or fun fact things with them. So this is in the back. So you would print these out, cut them out, you can laminate them, whatever you want to do. So again, I had mine printed, but you can print them out yourself. I know Rebecca, I think her printing option's open again. She prints them and you can have them mailed to you however you want to do it. So we are enjoying, we just started the Indigenous Peoples, and we are really enjoying it, especially because it lines up with what we're learning in history right now and in our geography. And so it's really great for supplementing for that. Any questions about the Indigenous peoples. We've done oceans and I can make sure the card's up here so you can go watch that review. We've started governments, and we only are a few lessons in, but I decided to take a break from that. I just wanted to give them an idea of what was going on with the election, but we decided to take a break because it was getting a little confusing because we're not there yet in history. So we'll be there second semester. Once we get there in second semester, we'll begin the government unit again. But I really love how that's laid out, very similar to what you see here. So please let me know if you have any questions or want to see anything else about the Indigenous peoples of Gather Round Homeschool.